Epilogue, the best version. Lunar date 4.155.3.30. 7 hours and 41 minutes after night rise. Well, I think that is a good place to end this story. And no, this isn't the end of Daniel and Abigale's story. Trust me, they have a full life ahead of them. However, I don't believe it needs to all be written in this book. Most of the exciting stuff actually doesn't happen until nearly 30 years later at the end of the Age of Progress. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That story is for another time. Instead, for those of you who are eager to know what happened next to our lovebirds, let me sum it up for you. Daniel and Abigale were married on lunar date 3.1627.3.21. It was an amazing party from the sounds of their journals. I kind of wish I had been there. Apparently, Shyloe convinced Emmy and Seth to join her for some karaoke. Now that would have been a sight to behold. Speaking of Emmy and Seth, they also got married. I'm sure that isn't a surprise to anyone. They were married on lunar date 3.1626.7.4. 3 years after their wedding, Abigale and Daniel gave birth to their first child, a daughter named Chloe Sheppard. 2 years later, they were blessed with a son named Phoenix. These two will play a pivotal role in that story I mentioned earlier. In fact, if it wasn't for Chloe and Phoenix, I probably wouldn't be writing this. Anyways, back to Abigale and Daniel. Daniel took over for Professor Mikaels at the Artanikst Academy in 3.1629. Abigale started her own archaeological company and became one of the top archaeologists of her time, just as she always planned. In her journals, it is plain to see that she didn't care about the prestige that came along with it. She loved what she did, and that was why she did it. Speaking of prestige, I am so glad that system no longer exists. I almost didn't believe it myself if I wasn't reading historical journals. I just can't imagine a world where your entire life was determined by a number based on your career and achievements. It seems so barbaric. Probably not the best word for it, but it's the best I can come up with this late at night. From my understanding, prestige ruined people more than it helped people. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell, Abigale never reconciled with her parents. She did reconnect with her older brother Mika later on, but that was it. Later on in life, it still haunted her how she was never able to have their reconciliation despite forgiving them. It breaks my heart writing this. I know she didn't have the relationship she wanted with her parents, and I hope she was able to find peace. I am sure there is more I could tell you. No doubt you have many questions. I may answer them in later installments. I believe my next story is going to focus on Chloe and Phoenix and the end of the Age of Progress. Some of what happens will blow your mind. Literally. Okay, not literally, but you get what I mean. I really need to go to sleep. We have 2 more days left here on Erythal. I'm surprised I was able to finish this story while I was still here. Many late nights writing. Master Melina scolded me a few times. Almost screwed up one of my trials, too. That wouldn't have been good. Oh, I almost forgot. Wouldn't it be cool to fly around in a starship like Daniel, Emilyn, and Joseph did in Solar Faceoff? I just want to see the stars. Obviously, I don't want to be involved in a space battle, not like any of that will ever happen. Still, something neat to dream about. Maybe I'll discover a solar deck that's still working somewhere. Well, I hope you enjoyed this story. I'm glad Daniel was able to overcome the monster inside of him by learning humility. And I'm glad Abigale was able to determine if she would remain loyal to a broken system or loyal to people who truly loved and cared for her. They learned together what it truly means to honor one another. Their story inspires me to be the best version of myself, and I hope it inspires you to do the same. Until the next adventure, Hinei Akmatov, Leyxa. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. I greatly appreciate it. This is only the first of many stories to be told in the world of Palmara. I plan on starting to write the next one shortly. Once it is finished and edited, I will start uploading the chapters for the new story. In the meantime, I'd love to hear your feedback from this story. You can either leave a comment or join the Discord with the invitation in the description below. Also, if you really liked it, share it with your friends who you think may enjoy it. Stories are meant to be shared and enjoyed together. Once again, thank you for taking the time to engage with Palmara, a dying breed. Looking forward to the next adventure. Until then, Hinei Akmatov, which as you know by now, means how pleasant it is for humanity to dwell in harmony with one another. Take care.